Yeah, you might be wondering, well, Bork Pika, why didn't you go to New Zealand or any of the other countries? Well,
Why didn't you go to Jamaica?
yeah, well, look, I don't know if that works for time zones. Meow Woof. But anyways, Zootopia 2, Jamaica? Christian, Jamaica. You think it comes out early in Jamaica?
Go fuck yourself.
It does not. Okay? I don't know where Jamaica is, but it doesn't come out. Anyway,
It's in the Caribbean.
it doesn't come out early for that. So Zootopia 2, Zootopia 2, you know, if I want to get Zootopia 2 very early, I had a few options. Japan, New Zealand, or South Korea. Now, New Zealand, I've already been. New Zealand's kind of boring place. You know, not really much going on there. Japan, I didn't really have any business in Japan. I had some business in Korea. So I was like, you know what? Let's line these things up. So I went ahead and went to Korea so I could watch Zootopia 2 early and knock out those two things. And so on the Korean movie theater experience, you know, it's what you expect. Clean, people are nice, etc. You deal with a kiosk. You don't really need any people interaction. You buy your ticket from the kiosk. But anyways, let's get into the Zootopia 2 review.
So why were you so eager to watch this? Like, fly countries to get there?
I remember as a little Bork Pika, my mom took me to watch the first Zootopia. And it was one of the best movies I've ever watched.
What did you like about it?
Just, I don't really want to talk about Zootopia 1, but I will talk about what I like about Zootopia 2. But I will say, I think they share a lot of that. So let's get it first off. Should you go and pay, you know, the price, the ticket price, or, you know, should you wait? Should you go out and watch Zootopia 2 right now in theaters? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think this is up there as probably, I think, the greatest animated movie of the year.
Really?
Yeah, I think this is the best animated movie of the year. You know, you could say
any other animated movies this year?
Come on, don't hit me with that. But I think in terms of greatest movie of the year, you're dealing with stuff like F1 and stuff like that. I'm not sure F1 or Zootopia 2. In my personal opinion,
F1 or
they're very different genres, obviously. So they you know, their audience overlap isn't. Yeah. No, 28 Days Later was total, or 28 Years Later was just garbage.
20.
Okay, but
Yeah.
don't mention that garbage movie while we talk about Zootopia 2. All right.
Okay.
Zootopia 2. Anyways, should you go and see it right now while it's in theaters? Yes. I don't like go see it in IMAX. Watch it multiple times. I'm gonna buy another ticket. I'm gonna buy another ticket to watch this movie again. I'm gonna watch this movie again in theaters. I might watch this movie 3 times in theaters. This movie, okay. It feels so weird glazing a Disney movie this much, but this movie, in my personal opinion, is better than the first Zootopia. Zootopia 2,
Really?
in my opinion, is better than the first Zootopia, and you don't see that often with sequels. You know, people know the cliche about sequels going down. This is better than the first, and it's a sequel. This is a better experience.
It's better.
It looks better. It sounds better. The actors seem to be more on their game. There's so much character development that we see, and of course, the first set up a lot of base for that. But let's go over my notes real quick, in no particular order. But yeah, go watch the movie in theaters. And I think
I'll do that.
I think this is better than the first Zootopia. Those are my two, you know, first verdicts I'll get out of the way. But the movie, the first thing I want to, you know, on my notes is excellent pacing. This movie, you do not get bored for a single second. There's not a single second where like, man, they're kind of dragging this or it's kind of going too fast. Excellent pacing. This movie is paced and goes along the flow of like audience retention perfectly. There was never a single moment where I was bored. Never. And that might have to do with just, this is another thing on my notes, is the end. There's so much love. You can just tell, and that's weird saying this about a Disney thing. You can just tell there's so much love put into this movie. Every scene you look at, there's just so much love. You can zoom in. There's a scene where there is if you look in the back, there's like a capybara billboard, and it's like one of those cliche law attorney like kind of billboards where it's like, need help, or in trouble, call us. You know, we'll get you out of that, blah, blah. And it's a capybara, like, legal attorney. You never see the capybara in the movie as a main, you know, character or whatever. Maybe he'd be cool. But it's like, you see this cool capybara law, and that's like one frame. One frame, you saw this. There's just so much love put into it. And like, it's not like the typical, like, oh, they just make a bunch of dumb puns about animals the whole time. They actually are really creative. They're really creative about, like, kind of fleshing out what it would be like to have, like, a bunch of animals of, like, totally different types living together in one sort of cosmopolitan,
totally different
city.
genus.
Yeah, totally different genus. And one thing I'll say about the animation that goes along with the excellent pacing and why it just is so captivating to watch is it is eye candy. It's constantly eye candy. I don't know what I've never seen an animation that just, it is so pretty to look at. Like, it's so pretty. It is so aesthetically pleasing. Like, the unified design and just aesthetic that this animation has is just very, very nice on the eyes. It is absolute eye candy. There's not a single moment you'll look at and like, wow, that's a drab scene or that's ugly. Even when they go to areas of Zootopia that would be like, oh, that, it's probably more of an ugly part of town. It's pretty. All of these, the whole animation is pretty. The composition is wonderful. It is a beautifully animated movie. Beautifully animated. But let's go on to my next thing. Is that again, these are no particular order, so this might kind of sound weird. They have they have these Lynx cats, and but we'll talk about, actually, I want to put the Lynx cat stuff at the end of this. So we're going to cover all of, like, the narrative and, like, over the top stuff first, and then we'll get into stuff that's more spoiler, because I want to have, like, a spoiler section and a not spoiler section. So we'll talk about some of that stuff out there. Gary, we knew about Gary. He's coming in. He's super funny. We'll talk about more about him. But
is he the sloth or is he the?
No. The sloth is called Flash, and he's from the DMV.
He's the fastest sloth, and he's still really slow.
Really?
Yeah. Gary is the horse, I guess.
We'll talk about that. We'll actually talk about the horse right now. So
the horse is funny looking.
Let me tell you this. I was so, like, my immediate reaction when I saw the flipping horse is like, oh my God, Joe from Family Guy is in Zootopia. So they got they got Patrick, what is his name? Patrick
Warburton.
Yeah, Patrick Warburton, which is Joe from Family Guys for you guys. To play the horse mayor, the new horse mayor, because in the previous Zootopia, the other mayor was obviously brought down. His name is Winddancer, and they obviously have him in, and he's wonderful. Like, he's known as, like, I saw some people that were like in the like months ago, they were like the horse, when they saw the horse mayor for the first time, they were like, this looks like a Patrick Warburton character. And like they were like, the Chad voice guy needs to play him, which they're talking about Patrick. Patrick kind of has a Chad voice guy. I think he's a Chad voice guy.
Well, he's the deep voice guy.
Yeah, he's the guy who, somebody said this. They said he's the guy who plays characters of amazing jawlines. Yeah. So basically, Joe from Family Guy, he plays basically he plays an actor stallion who is turned into a politician and was brought up as the new mayor of Zootopia, which kind of funny because there's like a big cliche about actors or people in Hollywood turning into politicians. You see that a lot. But anyways, major character development from Nick Wilde, and to a lesser extent Judy Hop. But still, both of them get a lot of character development. I love the dynamic between Wilde or Nick and Judy. It's so wonderful. Like the writing that they did between these two characters is great. Just how they would cooperate as kind of as a couple, and also partners as solving crime. Is and also they have some, like, you expect, Zootopia 2, that's like kind of like a by Disney, so how developed do you expect the kind of maturity of the relationship to be? And honestly, I think most of the dynamic between Nick and Judy is going to completely go over people say the target audience for this is like maybe like, I don't know, 12 or something. It's going to completely go over that target audience head, because just the complexity of their relationship and the struggles that they face are something that I think is some really some great commentary on just relationship dynamics in general, and struggling with differences in relationship and trying to make it work. They go to spoiler. They go to counselor therapy, or they go to couple therapy, which is like kind of played off as partner therapy for cops, but it's just couple therapy. And a lot of the stuff that they dive into between the dynamic of Judy being the sort of wide-eyed, naive bunny who wants to go out and be the hero of Zootopia, versus Nick Wilde, who's this under crime kind of gritty street fox who's just a criminal who wants to get by. And he's not necessarily concerned with saving the world. He just wants to do better for himself and get by. He's not concerned with making Zootopia to a better place. The world is how it is, and he accepts that, and he doesn't particularly want to change it. He's I wouldn't say he's a realist, but he's sort of like a realist mixed with somebody who's like just personally invested in himself.
He's like an egoist.
Yeah. If we want to talk about that, if we want to talk about spooks and whatnot, he's an egoist. And then you have Judy Hopps, who is someone who's deeply, whether or
He's like
not,
an idealist.
yeah, Judy Hopps is an optimist, an idealist. Whether or not that comes from a selfish nature to be the hero of the story doesn't matter, because Judy Hopps is genuinely invested in making life better for other people in Zootopia. Genuinely invested. Now that might come from a place of wanting to be a hero, which is selfish in nature, but obviously, duh.
Sterner would say that all actions are selfish.
Yeah, he would say that. I'm sure he would.
He's probably right.
But just how these two characters interact is extremely fun to watch. And the writers go full at it. There is scenes where they fully break each other down, where they fully drag each other out. And one scene I like in particular. So Judy and Nick are going up this mountain because they need to go to this hideout. And they're going up the ropes, right? Nick plays this one thing. It's it's a recording on the carrot, because they have this carrot thing that's really special it's really central to their relationship, because it was the first, it was part of the first, case investigation that they solved with the other mayor, where they recorded her saying, basically incriminating herself, and they recorded it on the carrot, kind of memo tape recorder thing. And he played it, but the one he played was Judy saying, "I'm just a dumb bunny. I'm just a dumb bunny. I'm just a dumb bunny." He's playing it over and over again. And Nick is going up the rope, and she's going up the rope, and he keeps playing it over and over again. And then Judy, obviously annoyed, she comes down and she tries to take it away. She's like, that's a real central piece of our relationship, and it's really inappropriate for you to play it right now. And I'd appreciate if you stop that. And he continues playing it, and they have a little fight over the carrot tape recorder, and they drop it on accident. And this symbolic representation of their relationship, tumbles all the way to the bottom of the mountain. And just shatters into dozens of pieces, and then they just look at each other. Each of them waiting for an apology from the other, or kind of more so, they're both sorry, but they don't want to be the first to apologize, but they don't understand how to go on with the situation. Because that's really true. Because when you've both done something bad, when you've both been bad to each other, but you feel like there's an imbalance, it's kind of hard for you to be the first one to apologize. It's hard for you to be the first one to kind of bow down and say, yeah, I did something wrong, and because then you feel like you're letting the other person escape from what they did to you, instead of thinking about accountability, instead of thinking about what you should do right now in this instance, not what they should do. Which they look at each other, and you can see all of that in their eyes. I don't know how the animators did this, but you can just see. Everything I just described right there, all of those emotions are painted on their face, and you can just look right in their eyes and you can see it. Wonderful. Just obviously the carrot thing is broken, and symbolically that represents kind of their relationship being broken because of the turmoil and the differences between these two. But I absolutely love the dynamic between Nick and Judy, and I could talk about it for a while, but I think you guys should when you watch the movie, that'll do it justice. But yeah, also the horse, like I said, horse is, the horse mayor is Joe from Family Guy. Somebody said, he said, Peter Griffin, this is the line from, "Hey Joe, this is just as good as when you were a horse in a Disney film." That might be one. Nay, he does say nay a lot, yeah.
Did he go to the Joe voice?
Yeah, he just straight up does the Joe from Family Guy voice. I think that's just his voice.
the one part where he's like, Peter loses Dewey, and he's supposed to he's watching Dewey, and he loses him. Lois calls him, and then Joe's like, "Wait, give it to me. I do a great Dewey impression." He's like, "Hey Lois." He's like, "Hey Lois, it's the baby."
Yeah, I would say the humor is pretty funny, and it's not like it's not like SpongeBob kind of like child Disney humor you'd expect. I like this because it was just between obviously Nick Wilde. I think he's played by what's the guy's name from from Arrested Development. What's the main character's name? Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, Jason Bateman.
I was thinking of the other guy, David Cross.
Yeah, and I no, not him. That's the guy who stole the chipmunks, right?
Yeah, well, he was also in Arrested Development.
Oh, you're right, he was. Completely forgot about that. Anyways, Idris Elba, which is that one kind of he's like a black British guy. Yeah, black British guy. And so so Idris is the police chief of the ZDP, Zootopia.
Is he the rhino?
No, he's I don't know what he is. I think he's like a big a ram thing. I'm not sure. I'm gonna look real stupid, but yeah. Anyway, so him and Nick get in an argument, and there's like the police chief says to Nick Wilde, why can't you just have a normal conversation? And Nick Wilde says it's because people with deep family trauma often cope with it by sarcasm, etc. They can't have real conversations. He says it in that or so words. And then Idris says because obviously he has family trauma. He's like childhood trauma. He's like, do you want adulthood trauma? And I've never heard someone respond to something like, I've never heard someone say, oh, I have childhood trauma as an excuse, right? Because people say that all the time, Christian, right? Like you hear that as an excuse all the time. Oh, I have childhood trauma, right? Comes to childhood trauma. I've never heard anybody say, do you want adulthood trauma? That made me chuckle. That got a chuckle out of me. Speaking about that, obviously they have a bunch of A-list actors as voice actors, but they're just wonderful voice casting. A great set of voice actors. Obviously, they did in the first one too. Like I said already, the animation is just absolutely beautiful. It's a complete, just eye candy. Like I said, there's so much love in it. One thing I wanted to note down is they have like a podcaster / YouTuber in it. He's a beaver, or she's a beaver. Her name is Nibbles Maplestick. It's played by, the name is interesting. This is the real name for someone who plays Nibbles Maplestick. Their name is Fortune Feimster. Fortune Feimster.
That's her real name.
I don't really, that's their real name apparently. I don't have any notes to add to that, but Nibbles Maplestick is played by somebody called Fortune Feimster, and I'm not sure which name is more silly, the name of the character in Zootopia or their real name. But yeah, their name is Fortune Feimster. So they play a podcaster / YouTuber, Beaver, who's it's a kind of a big part. They're more comedic relief, but yeah, they're pretty funny. I will say this, and you asked about me, you asked about this earlier. Judy Hopps is still big. Judy Hopps is still big. All right, just put that out there. No, they did not de-ass her. They did not go in and make flag. And there's a lot of reptile lore aside from that. Like, I won't get into the sex appeal of this. I'm not.
Does it appeal to you personally?
No, of course not. Does not appeal to me personally. Okay, I'm just saying that because some people might be interested in that for the sake of the review, and I need to be as what is the word for that? I need to be as I need to cover all my grounds, all my bases. So I'm just putting that in. I just for those of the audience who are curious, who are into that. This is a question that I know a lot of my Chud friends are going to ask me. Zootopia 2, is it Chud Slop? Is it diversity slop? And apart from it being pretty much, you would think so because the premise of the whole movie sets it up to be diversity slop. You would agree, right?
Yeah.
A bunch of animals of different types living together. You would say, oh, that sounds like diversity slop, or Pika, that sounds like blah 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 slop. I don't think so. Yeah, is the movie woke? Is it diversity slop? In my opinion, no. In my opinion, I don't think it is. I think that for a few different reasons. Because they don't really show of course it's a big thing that they're all different, and that there's different dynamics. But I don't think they paint it in a way that's like ooh, they don't say diversity is our strength, or we're all different, so that makes us better. In some ways, they have to get over their differences. They have to come up with ways to harmonize in spite of their differences. So it's not say hey, our differences are what makes us stronger. It's we have differences, and let's try to find a way around those differences. Let's try to find a way forward and innovate in ways and that kind of push us to being a more unified people with believing in one ideal, right? So in my opinion, I don't think it's woke, and that's kind of it's as not woke as you can expect in modern day. It's by Disney. In my opinion, for this to be produced in modern day, for it to be as unwoke as it is by mega $billion conglomerate Disney, and in the year of our Lord 2025, this is as not woke as you're gonna get folks. Like you're not getting any on this budget, on this tier, you're not getting anything that's that's better than this. Okay, in terms of in terms of that. So I think even my Chud friends.
Do you think 28 years later was woke?
Stop bringing up that movie's ass. Do not bring that movie up. That movie's ass. Movie's booty cheeks, and that is a woke movie. Just so you know, that is a woke movie. 28 years later, woke like garbage. Not for any. It's just disgusting too. Not in a good way. Yeah. It's just disgusting. It's just a gross, demon-made movie for demons. Okay. Anyways.
So would my Chud friends enjoy Zootopia 2? Absolutely. I think my Chud friends would actually enjoy Zootopia 2 more than the average audience member. My Chud friends go out and watch Zootopia 2 or wait for it to come out on whatever streaming platforms or whatever. Because I really think you're going to, what would it come out on Hulu? Disney Plus, Hulu, something like that? Disney Plus, probably. Yeah, so you can wait for it to come out, but I'd really recommend going and see it in theaters. But my Chud friends do absolutely enjoy Zootopia 2. You're not going to sit down and oh no. What have they done to my Zootopia 2? Is that a raccoon? Is that a raccoon talking to Judy Hopps? No, none of that stuff going on. So, in my opinion, best movie of the year. Best movie of the year. So let's get into, okay guys, from this point on we're going to be talking about spoilers. So this is the spoiler section, so just, I do recommend you watch the movie for yourself, but if you have no intention of watching the movie, then sure, I guess you can listen to us kind of talk about spoilers. We're not even going to do that big spoilers, we're not going to talk about the plot, the ending of that at all, we're just going to talk about some things that kind of spoil little fun details. Anyways, so you've been warned. Christopher, there's one thing I've been wanting to talk to you about. It is these sussy light-skinned stare tigers, okay, that they have in Zootopia 2. You just need to look at them. I don't know who made these things, but they have such a sussy light-skinned stare, they're dancing and they're it's just a weird, okay, so they have this pop star. They have this pop star who is a gazelle. Or I might be getting that wrong. I think it's a gazelle. Yeah, you remember that one? She was in the first. And lots of sex appeal there, I'll say that. Very, very curvy. For a gazelle, I guess. for a humanized gazelle. But anyways, there's all these like light-skinned tigers that are like her background dancers, and they're like, you know, they get kind of touchy on her too. It's a little weird in there. So these background tigers are, you know, these sussy light-skinned tigers, and also they have some beef with these guys called the zebros, and these zebros are like kind of a riff of cop buddies, and they're just like the zebros, and they're like they're cops in the ZPD. Yeah, that's them. You see them right there? Look at those guys right there. Interesting people. Yeah, and they're very sussy. Anyway, so they get in this fight with these zebros, and the zebros are pretty funny too. Another thing that I want to talk to you about is these lynx cats. So these lynx cats basically stole a patent, right? So before Zootopia was fully established, there was a snake, a reptile, which, you know, we got a lot of new reptile lore here, as I said, but there's a reptile and there's a snake amongst them who invented the weather walls. And basically the weather walls make it so that all of the animals can live and harmonize together while also getting the climates that they need. And anyways, the snake made this idea, who's actually the grandmother or great-grandmother of a character we see later named Gary. And Gary's a wonderful character. We'll talk about that later, but Gary's a wonderful character. Anyways, this lynx cat, or the lynx cat, my bad, this lynx cat, there's a reason I said Z. Anyways, this lynx cat sees the patent, he steals the patent, and then he frames the inventor, the original inventor of the snake, for a crime, and she gets locked up, and he becomes the inventor. You know, he gets wildly rich, you know, fortunes, a lot of money, big money, and he's a lynx cat, and he starts a lynx cat family dynasty that kind of controls Zootopia from the behind the scenes. So these lynx cats stole this intellectual property that established the kind of real order of Zootopia, and they have no ideas of their own, no inventions of their own, and you know, they sort of hijacked these ideas from the snake people, and then they push the snake people out of the country. They push the snake people away from Zootopia, and they take all the credit and all of the money
Wait, so I have a question.
and all the power. So what's up?
Does it ever explain, like, what's outside of Zootopia?
I think it is. Like, okay, so like Zootopia's a city, and obviously there's like there's different zones outside of Zootopia, but the place that they kind of all harmonize and are all able to live together is kind of Zootopia. It's like New York City, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so they're like countries, like, so they'd be like, hypothetically, there's like a country for snake people and a country for...
Yeah, there's like an ancestral homeland of snake people, you know what I mean? Because, so Gary, which we'll talk about Gary here, which is a character I really like, he kind of has like a weird ESL way of talking, but it's very charming. It's not bad, it's like a really charming kind of ESL way. Yeah, he's a snake people accent. And he's like, he always says to Judy Hopps, we will succeed, Judy Hopps. Judy Hopps, we will succeed.
Judy Hopps.
Judy Hopps, we will succeed.
Is it Slavic or...?
Almost. He has like almost a Makarov kind of accent.
Oh, like Slavic?
Really loosely, if I had to find some analog for it, loosely Makarov accent.
Maybe I'll succeed.
Yes, like... And his name is Gary, and there's a bunch of other snakes called Larry. Yeah, he's funny. Originally you think he's the bad guy, but, you know, turns out he's the good guy. But yeah, he's a nice snake. But the lynx cats, again, they stole the original patent, and they're wildly rich now, and they control Zootopia from behind the scenes, and they put up politicians, and they're trying to take down Nick and Judy because they're a threat to their hegemony. So these hegemonic powers, known as the lynx cat family, basically control everything from outside, you know, from outside the bounds of the normal Zootopian. And they, you know, they're backseat, you know, kind of shadow brokers who are controlling everything. And, you know, I'm not going to drop any more dog whistles. Yeah, I put in extra dog whistles for the lynx cats. And I will tell you this, I just want to add this in. The main lynx cat who betrays Judy Hopps, his name, the actor who played him, is called Sam Sandberg. I'm going to lay that out there. Okay? Name is Sam Sandberg.
Is he like the Giga Chad version of like Jesse Eisenberg or Mike Zero?
No, I would say his character, he doesn't sound anything like him obviously, but his character kind of looks like a slim cat version of Joe Rogan.
Really?
Yes. And he kind of acts like it too. He doesn't sound like it, but he kind of acts like it. And the lynx cats, they resemble something. I will not go any further than that. Let's
Let me look this up. Zootopia.
Should we look it up?
Lynx cats.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah?
Oh my god.
Are you looking at it? Yeah?
Bro.
You see it? Let me get a picture of him.
I think they made them waspy enough to go under the radar.
Yeah, this will go under the radar. No one will ever notice.
Look.
Yeah, he's doing it. He's doing it. They have to be doing this on purpose. They have to be doing it. You cannot make a family of shady, you know, shadow brokers who control politicians and, you know, and money from behind the scenes and steal intellectual property, and just everybody doesn't like them. They control everything. You can't make them look like this as well. You just can't do that.
I think literally the only saving grace is that they give them waspy names like Robert Linksley and
yeah, his name is Robert Linksley. It's just
like if they named him Hashem Lynxberg, I think it'd be a little too much.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, maybe we're reading too much into it, but like I don't know, Disney is trying to like put this in, like no one will notice. Yeah, we will never notice the guy wearing the sweater. We will never notice the guy wearing the sweater, rubbing his hands together and like, you know, doing and scheming. We'll never notice.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, we've been talking about Zootopia 2 for a long time, and for good reason it's good. It's a good movie. You should absolutely go see it. Movie of the year, better than Zootopia, the first. And absolutely, and obviously I went to Korea to go watch it, and Korean movie theater experience is excellent as always. But thank you guys for watching. But we'll see you in the next one. This has been Bork Pika and Meow Wolf doing a movie review, which is something we've never done before. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.